Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. Doctor Who is in a sorry state. It's just had its Christmas special and the viewing figures are not very good. We've got a lot of numbers to go through from a range of things on the day from the same channel that was showing Doctor Who. We'll take a look at stuff, talk about it, and we're back basically with Doctor Who content, I guess, because, you know, following this, they're then going to release Season 2, and just like I did with Season 1, we'll go through the figures and just talk about it, I guess. And it's just in a sorry state. It's just not particularly great. So, yeah, interesting times. So hit subscribe, ladies and gents, if you are a returning viewer and you're not already subscribed, because I do see you. I can see it from the analytics. There's a lot of people that keep coming back that are not subscribed. A hell of a lot, actually. So if you would, be kind enough to hit subscribe, that would be fantastic. Anyway, that being said, let's take a look at the figures. These are actually from the BBC themselves, which is where Doctor Who was broadcast. So we're going to take a look at this. This is just the headline. There's more to it than that. I've got last year's figures to take a look at. We're going to be taking a look at the schedule as well to see whether there was carryover from certain things, whether certain people just sort of bled into another show. It's a whole thing. This is a process to do a video like this. But raw data speaks for itself, and they're not good, basically. The figures are not good. So anyway, look, let's have a look. Right, just to sort of clarify, a show called Gavin and Stacey, which is a finale, reached 12.3 million TV viewers. Now that is, as they say here, the largest Christmas Day audience in more than a decade. Overnight data shows, which is mad. But it ain't Doctor Who, is it? And then we had the Wallace and Gromit film. So that was shown as well. And that had nearly 9 million, well, more than 9 million viewers, which is madness, but to be expected. And yeah, I love Wallace and Gromit. Wallace and Gromit are epic. So happy about that. Then the King's Speech was 7 million people, and not the King's Speech, the movie, his actual Christmas speech. And then we'll just go down and have a look, basically. But it does say here, an average of 14.3 million viewers turned in to watch this Wallace and Gromit thing. So that was interesting. But anyway, we'll scroll through. As you can see here is the top 10. So Gavin and Stacey's at number 1, Wallace and Gromit's at number 2, The King is at 3, Call the Midwife at 4, EastEnders at 5, and not even in the top 5 is Doctor Who. So Doctor Who did 4.11 million viewers at the time, overnight viewers. Now, here it is, just to go through it. This is on doctorwhotv.co.uk. They're very, very good. And when it says overnight ratings, it says overnight ratings also include those who watched it live and those who recorded it and watched it later that night. So you can see here, this is all of Season 1. And then as it goes into the special, and that's that Christmas special, 4.11. So again, here it's at number 6. It's not good. EastEnders, which is like some really terrible soap opera, beat it. But then let's look at the previous one. So this was an interesting one, right? This is the previous 2023 episode. So they did like 3 specials, then a Christmas episode, didn't they? And you can see this is when they were actually giving out the Audience Appreciation Index, which it needs to be said is something which the BBC are now refusing to give out, by the way. The Audience Appreciation Index is something they are refusing to give out, which is very, well, we know why they're doing that, obviously. But the special one had David Tennant in it. And then they slowly drifted off, as you can see there. And the numbers really do speak volumes. They just kept petering off. Started at 5.8 million overnight ratings. But then on catch up, it didn't really accumulate that much more. Just about 2.5 on average, basically. And it did that sort of across the board. it was always about the 2 odd million mark that it would accumulate over. 2.2, 2 million, 2.5, somewhere in that range. And it literally is just pretty much across the board. That's kind of what it was doing. So on Christmas Day 2023, it did 4.73 million views overnight ratings. Again, to compare it now to 4.11. And you can see how few people were interested in the overall season this year as well. 2.6 for episode 1, 2.4 for episode 2. And it was just this slow decline until it ramped back up at the finale. I say ramped, I mean it barely ramped, did it? And then now we're at 4.11. Now, if we look at Christmas Day schedule, because this is important to see whether there was any bleed over, but just to clarify, those numbers are not good. Whether you think 4.11 million views are good in general, it doesn't really matter. It's that decline in engagement. It's a decline. And any show that's losing viewers, there's a reason for that. So whether you like the show or not, it doesn't really matter, because the majority of people are beginning to check out, right? The more and more people are losing interest. So that's the important thing. So I just thought we'd take a look. So this is kind of what was on anyway. Christmas Day on BBC TV and iPlayer. And this is important because it's about that bleed through of people watching stuff. So, and we can compare it here, right, in terms of what was, the highest viewed. I've got to move this over a little bit. So Weakest Link is at 3 million, and that's here. Weakest Link Christmas Special. That was at 3:10 p.m. It's kind of like post-dinner, I guess. Strictly Come Dancing was at 355. So if we compare that to this, that did 4.05 million. So a big increase from the Weakest Link to this Strictly show. They are actually on the same channel as well. So watch on iPlayer and BBC One. Watch on iPlayer and BBC One. And then Doctor Who. So Doctor Who, this one I'm a bit confused about, because it says watch on BBC iPlayer and BBC One from 6:10 p.m. But then it was also showed on BBC Three as well from 7:10 p.m. But Wallace and Gromit was on BBC One at the same time. So I don't know what... They can't have been on the same time. Do you see? So but this is the BBC.com, so I honestly actually have no idea. But the point is that if the BBC believed in Doctor Who, they wouldn't schedule these at the same time anyway. So that's concerning. That's important to take a note of. And you can see the figures here from Strictly to Doctor Who. If they were going into each other at the same time, that's not great. It's not a huge accumulation there. And then EastEnders was on at 7:30, BBC One. But that gained quite a large amount of viewers from Doctor Who. So you can see, anyway, the point is you can see that, well, one, scheduling conflicts is a little bit of a bizarre thing here with the BBC doing this. Watch on iPlayer and BBC One from 6:10. And then this one here as well, watch on iPlayer and BBC One from 6:10 with Doctor Who Unleashed on iPlayer and BBC Three from 7:10. This, I have no idea. I don't really understand the scheduling here. But this is not good. Like, you wouldn't schedule two shows. Like, this was obviously going to be huge. Obviously, this was going to be huge, right? Wallace and Gromit was clearly going to be a massive thing. This is not a good... This is just not good. To schedule them at the same time. Why would they do that? That's bad. But anyway, the point is, these figures suck. Like, it's lost... What was it? Like 500,000 viewers? 600,000 viewers? That's a lot. On Christmas Day, to lose 600,000 viewers from Christmas Day to Christmas Day, that's a lot. That's not a small amount. That's a hell of a lot. So there you go. This will be fascinating to see whether when Season 2 kicks off, Episode 1 is as high as 2.6 million, or it is as low as 2.25 million. That will be the clincher. That will be the thing that tells us. whether this is really in the toilet, which I think it is, obviously. But anyway, let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear it. Take care. Bye-bye now.